Duke! Albert!
Are you filming?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. This card's killing me. This card is, I can't stop. All right, guys, you know what this is. 4870X2. They're making fun of me because I haven't slept in like 2 days because I can't stop playing video games. I've been benchmarking, and to be honest with you, once I did the benchmarks, I've just pretty much been, I can't say it, but I've been eating something for a day and a half, just doing absolutely nothing but playing video games. I've never ever been able to play a game like Crysis 2560 by 1600 and get a good frame rate. This thing is insane. Not only am I using one, though, I'm using two in quad fire. So let's talk about this card. 4870X2. Now, you know this is the R700. It's two RV770s. So you're actually getting two 4870s on one board. But the only difference is you're actually getting quadruple the memory. So before you had 512 megabyte of GDDR5, which is already insane. Now you're getting quadruple that. So you're getting 2 gigabytes of memory. Granted, it's not 2 gigabytes overall. It's 1 gigabyte per GPU. They're clones. They can't read from each other's memory, but it doesn't matter. The performance is insane. Also, the memory, now that it's 2 gigabytes of it, and I don't know if you remember, the 3870X2, they had the slower memory. They had to drop down the frequency on the memory because it was getting hot. This is still at the full frequency, so they didn't drop it at all. Full frequency on the memory, full frequency on the GPU. It's, again, it's two 4870s in Crossfire, but on one board, and because of the extra memory, you actually get better performance. So, let's talk about specs. There's a lot of specs to go over on this thing. First of all, there's two of everything. So you're going to assume that I'm going to be saying something. It means two. So GPUs, two of them. 750 megahertz right here. Really cool. A 260 millimeter exactly. Woo. Woo. That's not very enthusiastic. Yes. All right. Let me wake up here. You get two 260 millimeter squared dies. So the chips are still small. They're not the huge NVIDIA chips. They're small chips. You get 800 ALUs per. So you have 1,600 shaders in total, okay? That's 10 SIMD clusters, each of 80. Those are 80 32-bit shader cores. Very, very insane to have 1,600 shader processors on a board, on any board, especially on one that's this fast. They're also operating at 750 megahertz, just like the core clock, just like the GPU. So that's impressive. You get 80 texturing units, 40 and 40, which is really cool. Again, DDR5, 2 gigs in total. Each one is dedicated. There's also an interesting little thing in here. If you look at the back, well, actually, first thing, I'm almost going to forget this, but first thing I'll tell you is that when you're looking on the back of this thing, if you were to take this plate off, you would see that they installed the memory on the back side of the plate to keep it cool and stop heat from getting in here where your GPUs are. So that's a good idea for thermal management. The other thing I'll tell you is there's actually something right between these two. It's called the side port interface. And pretty much what that is, it's going to let the two GPUs communicate with each other, which right now they don't do. So when PCI Express 2.0 becomes fully saturated, they'll be turning that on. AMD will be turning that on via a driver update to get you communication between the two GPUs. That's going to increase performance. I mean, insane. We don't need it just yet, but that will be there. What else? Memory frequency on here. Again, 900 megahertz. That's the static, okay? And so effective, since it's quad pumped because DDR5, that's 3600 megahertz effective data rate. 3600, 3.6 gigahertz on the memory, okay? It's insane. It's ridiculous. What else? The interface is still 256 bits wide, but of course it's double because there's two of them. It gives you a total of 115.8 or 0.2 gigabits per second of throughput, and that's multiplied by 2 because everything is doubled on here. This thing is a big card. You are going to need a huge power supply, so don't skimp on the power supply, especially if you're going to use two of these. It did pull 286 watts. We put it on a kilowatt meter, put it with a regular card, put it with this card. 286 watts was the difference. That's how much this card is pulling at full load, loaded up on Prime 95. Actually, we're using Orthos, but we were pulling 285, 95 watts or 86 watts. That's crazy. That's a lot of power. And also, with that power comes a lot of heat. The card doesn't run as cool as I'd liked it to. It did run at 90 degrees centigrade factory, but it doesn't matter because it's meant to run that hot. They designed it to run that hot, and it works great. You can even overclock it a little bit. It did take a little bit of an overclock, which will be included in the box. You do get the catalyst control drivers on here, which will let you overclock from the operating system. It does everything automatically. You just slide the frequency to where you want it. You slide the memory over. You slide the GPU. Very simple. What else? You get DirectX 10.1. Very nice, very useful to have on there. You get UVD 2.0. If you don't know what UVD 2.0, it's a new technology actually. It's pretty interesting. Inside the box, you're going to be getting obviously, as usual, you usually get a little DVI to HDMI converter. Now, there's a difference though. The difference is that the hardware on this card allows you to run 7.1 channel audio through the HDMI, and it's completely lossless sound. It's not, you're getting an uncoded file. It's going to go straight through the HDMI cable, straight to your surround sound system, and it will handle up to 8 channels. It will do DTS, it'll do all the Dolby products. You can encode it however you want, and it's going to all go through one cable. So that's really cool, especially if you're going to be sending surround sound to a big TV or a big display to play your games in, you know, big screen or big TV. What can I say about that? Let me also tell you what else you get in the box. You get a breakaway cable, very useful. So this is going to let you do component out to your TV 1080i from your digital 7-pin S video cable. And I don't know if you noticed, but there is a nice little space for it right there in the middle. Boom. So that's where you're going to plug that in. And if you don't want to use HDMI, then this is what's going to be for you. What else do you get? DVI, VGA. Simple. A few people are going to use that. Single out if you want to do this for your output of your video. It's not as good, but it will work if you have a regular TV. This is going to get it out to your regular TV without having to do high def. And a Crossfire bridge. Very nice. Got to have a Crossfire bridge. When you run these together in Crossfire, since there's already 2 GPUs on here, you're going to get quad fire. Yes, quad fire. It's crazy. I didn't make that up. I think I might have made that up. If I did, trademark it. If not, AMD did it. Whatever. Next. So let's talk about the card itself. Very pretty. It's not as big as you think it is. I think it's like 10.5 inches long. It's nothing huge. It's not bigger than an 8800 Ultra, even though it has 2 GPUs on it, double the memory, double everything. It doesn't really matter. Very nice. If you notice, it's all filled in here. So all the heat that's being generated in this card is going directly out the case through here, and it's not getting recirculated into the rest of your case to, you know, warm up everything else. I mean, it gets hot enough through here. You don't need hot air getting in there. So it is going to circulate all that out. You do have the two dual link DVIs. Those are 2560 by 1600 maximum resolution. Nice heatsink up here. And let's talk about power real quick. An 8-pin and a 6-pin PCI Express are going to be required. So make sure that you have the right power supply. And if you're going to do 2 of these, you're going to need way over 1,000 watts to run 2 of these in quad fire. If you have a decently equipped system with a lot of other stuff on it, if you have more than 1 hard drive and a powerful processor and motherboard, you're going to need a big power supply. So don't skimp on it. You're going to need it. What else can I tell you about it? That's pretty much it. Very nice. I'm loving this, and I haven't slept in about two days straight, pretty much. Just straight up benchmarking, playing video games. Crysis, over 60 frames a second at 26-inch resolution with 4x anti-aliasing. Very high everything. It's killer. It's killer. There's nothing else I can say. It's impressive. If you have any questions, go ahead and email me. I'll see you guys next time. For more information on the Diamond Radeon HD 4870X2 video card, go to compusa.com and type in D10-4876 into the search box. Or you can always call us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 1-800-COMP-USA.